will be a quick explanation of the parts of a sugya, so that when we start our first sugya, you know what to look for. First of all, the word sugya. This is the general term for any single passage or unit of Gemara. So when we talk about this first passage, it's a sugya, and each distinct text from Gemara and Brachot, we will call it a sugya. The first sugya, the second sugya. The sugya may have several parts or components, and we'll look at what those components are, but it will generally be a single discussion or conversation. That's what unites it. That's what makes it a single unit. Okay, that's sugya. 2. Sources. We're always looking for sources. There are two main kinds of sources we're looking for in any sugya. The first is a baraita. That's a teaching of the Tanaim. The same people as the Mishnah, but it's not from the Mishnah. The second is memra, teaching of an Amora, so from the period of the Gemara. So baraita, teaching of the Tanaim, memra, teaching of the Amoraim. Generally, if it's not a baraita or a memra, we will call it discussion. And we will talk about how to find and identify a baraita or memra, where it begins, and though it's a little more complicated, to figure out where it ends. So, how do you identify them? Each type of source has typical words or phrases that introduces it. So, when you get to a sugya and you're looking for where are the sources that are used or quoted, you're looking for those identifying words or phrases. So, for baraita, there will be numbers of them, but the two most common are Tanu Rabbanan, which just means the rabbis taught, and Tanya. Those two phrases, Tanu Rabbanan and Tanya, always introduce a baraita. So anytime you see them, you know, here's a baraita, a source from the Tanaim. Two things to know about these two phrases. First, Tanu Rabbanan is sometimes abbreviated with Taf Resh, and we will see that. So be looking for Taf Resh, that means Tanu Rabbanan. And the second thing to know is that both Tanu and Tanya are forms of the word Tana. In other words, the phrases or words that introduce a baraita are basically the same word as the name of the people who taught them, the Tanaim. Now, to identify a memra. A memra is just Amar Rabbi so-and-so. So, Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Amar Rabbi Yosef. You see that formula, and it's not in a baraita. Generally, that is a memra. So if you see Amar Rav so-and-so, mark those words, and you know, here's the beginning of a memra. So even before you have any idea what your sugya is talking about, you can skim through and identify the beginnings of baraitot and memrot.